Hi, I'm Spencer, and I'll be talking about the sprites and the design of the overall game that we came up with. So as you can see from the start screen, we have Mike going back and forth. This is a picture of Mike. I'll display a bigger picture of what we actually used. This is the concept design that we chose for Mike. He's going to be a tiger. You got him with his little name on there. And so the way that the sprite works is there's a left and a right sequence that we have that he'll go through. So this is the left one, and then we have a right one. And so pretty much the change that you have is his arms go from one way and his tail goes another way, and that just kind of signifies what direction he's going, as you can see from this little display right here. And then if I hop into the game, you can see that when you actually move to a different side, he's actually going to be changing his sprite. So, alright, so then we also have the overall design. Obviously we're going to be going with a kind of purple and gold kind of design for everything. All the buttons kind of similar to everything, and that's just the look. We also have these bars. Next thing I'm going to show you is the enemies. So obviously the enemy is, for Mike, is going to be kind of a little football sprite kind of guy. So in this we have a sprite sheet that has two different sprites of the football guy. And so the first one, here we go, pretty much this was a kind of a multi-layered design where the foot, legs, and then like thigh, then to the body, then the shoulders, and then the arms, hands, and the head are all kind of all in different layers. And then they got multiple, like different layers were conjoined, as in the hands and the arms, and the foot and the legs. So that way it can actually, I can go back and forth between this animation. So I can show you a little preview. And so right here, that's what the guy looks like. And we can see him in-game as Mike is jumping around. And as they come out, and they just kind of scurry across the football field. So the other thing that we have here is our little platforms that Mike is jumping on. They're shown with a little footprint, saying that Mike is going to be able to jump on those. And we have two different ones. First one is the purple and gold one, which is the regular platforms, which he can bounce on as many times as he wants before they fall off the screen. The second platform we have is a white platform with a purple outlining, which is the breakable platforms, which as he jumps on it once, they break. And then we also have our yard lines, and that will show up as you're playing the game, which are just a simple white line, and then we just edited that one sprite to be used for these decorations for the screen. Alright, so that's pretty much it for my part.
Hey everybody, this is Greg, and I'm going to talk to you guys about the sounds that we use. So I did all the audio for this game because music is cool and I like it. So over here we have our sounds, and so our background music I wrote at home on my home program, which is Finale 2014. I used to be a music student, so I have that program. And so the way that the main theme sounds is it's a loop, and it's an MP3 file. The reason this is an MP3 file is because MP3s are smaller. And since this is a longer song, it's better to have a smaller file, so here we go. And so as you can tell, it's a pretty catchy little, sounds kind of like what you'd hear in like an 8-bit game. And it's just really catchy, and it repeats over and over again, and it's catchy. So then we have 4 shorter audios that all happen that I recorded at home with my recording equipment, and these audios play in game whenever things happen. These are all WAV files because WAV files are larger, but they don't have to get ready. As soon as you click on it, they can play. So they're really fast to respond, which is why they're good for instant audio things. So like whenever Mike bounces on a regular platform, this is what plays.
Boing, 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 boing.
And so that's actually me. I made that noise, speaking into my microphone. Whenever he jumps on a braking platform, we get this audio. And that is me crumpling a piece of paper. Whenever you click on a button in the game, this is the sound that it makes. And that's just me clicking my tongue. And then whenever you lose because you die and you're terrible at life, this is what plays.
Fire less miles.
And that is also me talking. So that's the audio, and it's pretty jammin'.
Hi, so this is John Chris, and I'm going to be talking about rooms. Game Maker uses rooms as like different screens that go on through the game. So like right here is the home screen. It's how you get to the actual game and the settings. These buttons just change which room you're in at the time. See, if we click the settings button, we go to the settings screen, and here we can change the or turn off the music and clear the high score up here at the top. See, it just changed to 0. This goes back to the home screen. The play button starts the game, and all the other stuff. This is the death screen. This also shows the high score. It shows the highest high score that you've gotten. There's also a home button during the game that can also send you back to the game to the home screen. You can see that there. We also have an initialize screen, which doesn't actually appear. Just whenever the game starts up, it starts the screen and implements all of our global variables so that we have access to them later on in the game. And as soon as that screen appears, it immediately goes straight to the home screen of the game. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, my name is Jude Kennedy, and I will be going over the objects. The first object we're going to look at is for Mike, which is the main character that hops around on the screen. And here is the code for that. At the top here we have the boundary set for the main screen. If you look at these built-in functions right here, it returns the min and the max for the screen. To move down a little bit, we have whenever Mike collides with an object, like with a platform or with an enemy, and whenever he collides with an object, he will speed up, but like towards the top of the screen, which is why this variable right here, vSpeed, is negative. And also, whenever he collides with a platform, it will play the bounce sound, which you heard a little bit earlier. Whenever Mike isn't colliding with an object, we have the gravity variable right here. It's set so that he will fall down with an acceleration of 0.5. Whenever Mike goes off the bottom of the screen, this code right here runs. What happens first is it goes to the pause menu, which is essentially the game over one, the game over screen. And the audio that plays is the game over sound, which you heard earlier as well. And this part right here is pretty important. It adds his high score to the high score array, which is a built-in function from GameMaker, and it adds it under the name Mike. And the way that this works is it creates a file object, and you write the high score as a string to the object, and then whenever you want to read back in from it, it'll read it as an array and then just output it onto your screen. You also have to close it like a normal file. This switch statement right here allows Mike to move left and right across the screen. You pass in the keyboard key, and if it's the left keyboard key, then the horizontal speed, which is h-speed, is -8, so he'll move to the left. And it also changes the sprite right here, so as Spencer said earlier, the arms will change depending on his direction on the screen. And the VK right key just does the opposite. This is for movement on a phone, which uses an accelerometer to measure the tilt of the device. And if the tilt in the x direction is less than the 0.2 right here, then the horizontal speed will go to the left or right, depending on which way you tilt the device. This last statement right here is for whenever Mike isn't colliding with an object, but he's also falling. Oh wait, sorry, mistaken. That's yeah, actually it is that. It's whenever Mike collides with an object, but it's not meeting any like a platform or anything like that. So what it really does is just set the top vertical speed limit, and that's just so he can't continue to accelerate. The next thing we're going to look at is the platforms themselves. And this code right here, what it does is whenever the instance is created, it sets the vertical speed to 4, which is down. And it as soon as the object goes off the screen, it destroys it to save memory and just be efficient. And the important part of this is the generator. And this works based on an alarm system, which we'll see right here. So in the game, 30 frames is 1 second. And this alarm set to 60 means that after 2 seconds has passed, initiate this instance, which is a regular platform. This is the purple platforms that you've seen on the screen before. The brake platforms, the ones that are white, work exactly the same way. It's just a different image. The next thing that we're going to look at is the object for the enemy. And on the creation for this object, the speed is set to 3. And the direction right here is a random range of degrees between 225 and 315. So this will make the object move on like an angle. This is for collisions. If the enemy object collides with Mike, this is what will happen. So it'll be the same as if he had died. So this code runs, which is if he collides, then it goes to the pause menu, which is the game over menu. The game over sound plays, and then this false variable right here means that it's not going to loop. And like if he died before, the high score variable is added to the score array, and then the file, it writes it to the file, and then you can read back from it, just the same as before. Okay, the last thing that we're going to look at is the generator for the enemy object. And what we have here is just another instance create. This also works based on alarms. So this one will, every 5 seconds, an enemy object will be created. And it will be created at a random placement on the screen, but we subtract 64 right here so that it will actually be on the screen and won't spawn off of it. And that is it for the objects.